What's up, Browns fans? Welcome into the Browns Report by Chat Sports. My name is Moose, filling in for Matthew Peterson, who is getting married this weekend. So taking over just for a little while he gets everything ship-shaped for his big day. Now, on the show, we are talking about the good and the bad with Dillon Gabriel at Browns OTAs. Now, before we get into that, the guy over there from the Ravens Rundown host, Joey Peterson, said he doesn't think that somebody filling in for Petey could get 400 likes on today's video. Let's prove him wrong. Shut him up for good. Hit that thumbs up button before we get started. Now, let's start with the bad news. I'm a bit of an optimist, so I like to end on good news. We'll start with the most glaring flaw. And his most glaring flaw showed during OTAs. I don't think that really much needs to be said. It's definitely his height. Right? He's not the tallest of dudes. We knew that coming in, especially when he was drafted. But he looks small. I mean, you can just see this. Look at him compared to the offensive linemen. Now, the hog mollies up front, granted, are some of the biggest humans on earth. Most of them are 6'3 plus, 6'4, 6'5. But he looks tiny compared to them. And that led to one particular play where Mason Graham knocked this ball down. And you can see Dillon's pushing all of his weight and his momentum forward, trying to get that ball over the defensive lineman's head, and it didn't even come close. I mean, that is a center of the palm block. And we knew that height was his biggest flaw. Again, when you drafted him, you knew what his measurements were. 5'11", about an eighth of an inch over 5'11". Now, for context, I'm 5'9.5". So he's only about an inch and a half taller than me. And I'm not a very big human being. Now, height doesn't necessarily matter, to the ends of the earth, right? It's not the most important trait a quarterback can have. But with that being said, if you can't see over the line of scrimmage, you have to be able to move side to side, that lateral quickness to escape the pocket and find receivers as you're throwing on the run, or at least able to get out there fast enough so where you can plant your foot and make a correct throw. Now, there are a bunch of quarterbacks currently that are under 6 foot. The most notable one, the one that has had the most success in the NFL, is definitely Russell Wilson, but Kyler Murray can absolutely play. Bryce Young remains to be seen. But if you notice something about every single one of their games, all three of them have the ability to move outside of the pocket with quickness. And that's going to be the biggest question and the biggest, trait that we're going to have to look for if Dillon Gabriel gets onto the field. So let me ask you this question. I'll just throw it up to you. Does Dillon Gabriel's height worry you? Yes or no? I can't say that it doesn't bother me, but I can't say that it does. I think it's something to monitor. It has to be, again, like I said, you have to pivot because you're not going to be able to just camp yourself in the pocket. You can't see over the line of scrimmage. So, again, it's just going to be something you have to keep your eye on. Also, if you remember this, his height has definitely been some point of contention already. A Browns beat reporter, after Dillon Gabriel was done at the mic, he got off the podium, started walking away, was caught while the cameras were still filming, saying, "I'm taller than him." I mean, you can't make this stuff up. If reporters are noticing stuff like this, the Browns have definitely noticed something like this. Now, there is a silver lining to all of this. This can work if Kevin Stefanski approaches Gabriel the same way that Sean Payton approached Bo Nix and Drew Brees, another player that was either right at 6 foot or just slightly below 6 foot, being Drew Brees. Bo Nix is obviously taller than 6 foot. But if you remember last year, and if you watched any of the Broncos play, Bo struggled early on, and Sean Payton simplified the playbook, and he made it so that Bo played on script until he felt so comfortable that he could just start spewing out plays left and right. So Gabriel can be a successful, smart quarterback. I view him as a potential player that plays like a traditional point guard would in the NBA. Don't do anything stupid. Don't turn the ball over. Distribute it to your playmakers and just run the offense through a system. Kevin Stefanski is a smart enough head coach right? We've seen him take this team to the playoffs. There's no doubt in my mind that he can coach. So it's just going to be a matter of if Gabriel gets onto the field, how do you approach his style of play? And it's got to be with that game managing, staying on script type of play, at least to begin with. Now, ESPN ranked the Browns quarterbacks at OTAs, and Flacco obviously comes in at number 1. That doesn't really come as a surprise, an NFL veteran, but Shadeur Sanders balled out. I mean, he really played his ass off. Dillon Gabriel came in 3rd, and then Kenny Pickett obviously was the worst at OTAs. I don't think he even sniffs the starting job for the Browns. But this is something to note. If you take a look at how each player performed, Gabriel didn't do too bad. This is a pretty decent stat line, if you ask me. It's not as good as Shadeur's, but it's right on par with what Joe Flacco can do. And again, what are Gabriel's strengths? He's not going to be a guy that has the ability to make plays like a Caleb Williams or a Jaden Daniels. He's more of your traditional in the pocket, deliver the football, solid strikes, incredible accuracy. That's his wheelhouse. Those are his strengths. Now, coming up, I kind of alluded to some of it already. Actually, I didn't really allude to it. I just kind of said it. The good news about Dillon Gabriel. But before we get into that, Browns fans, if you are ready to take your fandom to the next level, do me a favor. Use this link that I've put in the comments and description of today's video and start shopping with Fanatics today. You can get a Mason Graham jersey, a Quinshon Judkins jersey, a Shadeur Sanders jersey. And hell, Fanatics doesn't just have jerseys. They've got all different types of apparel ready for you to buy. They've got great deals all the time. So again, use this link that I've put in the comments and description of today's video and start shopping today. The good news, Dillon Gabriel is incredibly accurate. That's not something that he's had an issue with at all. He can fit some balls into tight windows, giggity. But one thing that I've noticed, look at how he places the ball perfectly. That's a back shoulder throw. I know it's kind of tough to see. It looks like he's jumping, but that's a back shoulder placement right there in this first photo. The second photo leads his receiver tremendously. So again, this seems to be his most impressive trait. And the good news is, this is the most important quarterback trait, accuracy. And as you get into more of a 2025 style of play, it's all about accuracy. Gone are the days where you can complete 57% of your passes and still be considered a successful quarterback. You've got to be mid-60s or above. So, to me, if your most impressive trait as a quarterback is your accuracy, you automatically have a leg up on the competition. So, make sure you get your popcorn ready, guys, because there's a quarterback battle brewing in Cleveland. Now, who is that going to be week 1? Remains to be seen. But Joe Flacco had this to say about becoming a mentor to these younger players. I tend to try to be honest, and I've said I'm not a mentor. I play football, and in a quarterback room, there's a lot of times already that there's been already a ton of times where there's learning experiences, got caught up there, and I have a lot of experience, and I can talk on things, and hopefully they listen. So I get where he's coming from. He doesn't want to be known as the mentor of these players. He's still a competitor. He wants to go out there and show that he's going to be the QB1. But he also recognizes his age and says, look, I'm on hole 17 or 18 of my NFL career. The glory days are behind me. I'm just here because I enjoy the love of the game, and I want to show that I can still do it into my 40s. So, he's still a probable option at starter. And surprise, surprise, my prognostication, my projection, my hypothesis is that Flacco will start week 1. He already knows the system. The other guys, are they talented enough to take over the franchise week 1? It's tough to say. But I'm rolling with Flacco week 1. Now, week 6, week 7, week 8, depending on the Browns' record at that point, I have no idea who comes in yet. That's up to Kevin Stefanski and this coaching staff. But if you had to predict your week 1 starter, Let me know if it's any one of these four guys. Has to be one of these four guys. Can't be Deshaun. I'm rolling with Joe Flacco. I'm going to type my JF. But let me know who you think down in the comment section down below. That's all we've got for today's episode. Remember to like the video. Help us beat that guy over there for the Ravens Rundown. Hit subscribe. And as always, be cool.